is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
On the news this morning, Rivers State government imposes nighttime curfew on all land borders. Stakeholders speak on effect of nighttime curfew in Rivers State. House of Representatives calls on President Buhari to immediately declare state of emergency and security. On the foreign scene, India's COVID death toll goes past the 200,000 mark. I am Ifeemi Andrew. The Rivers State government has announced that a nighttime curfew will be in force at all land borders of the state from today, April 28, between 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Governor Wike in a state broadcast said the curfew became necessary following the killing of some security operatives in Ikure and Abua Odua local government areas by gunmen.
In view of what is going on, therefore, and its implications, the government of Rivers State has decided to restrict night movements into and out of the state from the land borders of the state. Consequently, a night curfew is hereby imposed and no person or vehicle is allowed into and out of Rivers State from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. from tomorrow, 28 April 2021, until further notice. We wish to advise that those who have any legitimate need or reason to come into or go out of the state must do so before 8 p.m. when the curfew shall come into force daily.
Governor Nyesom Wike also directed security agencies to monitor and ensure compliance.
Security agencies have been posted to monitor and enforce strict compliance with the curfew at all our land borders and our entry and exit points with Abia, Kwaibo, Bayelsa, and Imo states. We call all citizens to understand that these are strange times and nothing can be more paramount than our collective safety and security. We therefore urge everyone to be vigilant and report every useful intelligence or suspicious movements to the security agencies for immediate actions.
The governor also said investigations has been launched into the various attacks.
Nobody yet knows where and when the next attack will take place. Neither do we also know the motives of the deranged characters or group behind these senseless assaults on our state and the lives of security operatives working to keep us safe and secure. However, what is obvious is that the attackers and their sponsors are people who came from outside Rivers State, and as a government, we are determined to do everything within our powers to prevent the recurrence of such senseless and murderous acts aimed at creating an atmosphere of gross insecurity and panic among the citizens.
Meanwhile, Governor Wike has expressed concern over the rising insecurity in parts of the state. At a solidarity visit by chiefs and stakeholders of Andoni communities, Governor Wike called for the people to show sincerity of purpose in the fight against insecurity.
The issue of security is a source of concern to all of us. And all of us must also say the truth. Our children are the ones causing the crisis. We must tell ourselves the truth. And that is the only way we can solve that problem. Is that all of you are committed to say, look, Mr. Governor, these are the people who are causing problem for us in Andoni. They say so like whatever they are, enough is enough. Everybody must come together. It doesn't matter the party you belong to.
Governor Nyesom Wike also called on the people to support security agencies in their operation.
We cannot achieve it if you don't work with us. So the traditional rulers, you must work with us. The chairman of council, you must work with us. Opinion leaders, you must work with us. To say, look, give us information. You don't need to say it to the public. Most of them are very police, yes. Don't tell them. Tell me. Then see the way we will handle it.
The governor said the Opobo section of the Ogoni-Andoni Opobo Unity Road will likely be commissioned in May.
But let me thank God Almighty that the Opobo Andoni Unity Road at Ogoni is going on. With what is going on, it's likely that the Opobo one will be completed and commissioned May. And I have told the contractor that there will be excuse for the Andoni houses not to be completed before August, September. There's no way. I know we are paid about 90% for that road project. You must go home.
Correspondent Emeka Otuka reports that earlier the paramount ruler of Ikuru community, His Royal Majesty King Aaron Mila Ikuru, who spoke on behalf of the delegation, said their visit was to seek the intervention of the governor on the insecurity in Andoni communities.
We are here to seek your fatherly intervention in the present security challenges in Andoni. The efforts put in by the traditional rulers, chiefs, and leaders of Andoni in 2020 on this matter yielded no result, and the cultists are taking advantage of this to inflict more harm on our people. Your Excellencies, sir, the Andoni people are requesting for a wider intervention now.
The incumbent chairman of Iche local government area, Obinna Anyanwu, has directed security agencies to enforce the night curfew imposed by Governor Nyesom Wike at all land borders in the area. Dr. Anyanwu, in a statement signed by his Chief Press Secretary Robinson Olo, charged all residents to be security conscious and alert security agencies of suspicious activities in their various communities. He noted that any person or group, no matter how highly placed, that violates the night curfew will be made to face the full wrath of the law. The statement further urged the people to see the new security measures as government-friendly and for the safety of all. A security analyst, retired Admiral John Nicholas, has commended the imposition of a night curfew in the borders connecting Rivers State and other states. Mr. Nicholas said the imposition is in the right direction, but stressed for more intensified intelligence security in the state.
Most of those clandestine movements take place at night. Mass movements of arms and all those things take place sometimes at night. But the important thing is that free flow is no longer there. It's just to tidy up some loopholes. Once you have adequate intelligence, it means anywhere anything wants to happen, you can easily pick the information and then you know what to do. The Neighborhood and Safety Watch Agency now is part of their job. They should be able to monitor and give proper report of suspicious movements to security agencies, who should now trail those movements and track them before they manifest into any dangerous situation.
Retired Admiral John Nicholas, who is also chairman of Rivers State Policy Advisory Committee of the Niger Delta Dialogue, linked the rising insecurity to lack of proper synergy between security agencies and the critical stakeholders in the society.
There is no village in which you don't have a youth leader or a CDC chairman. Now, these are people who are supposed to be the primary security agencies of their various communities. Once they see any suspicious movement or anything they think is wrong, they pass the information to the appropriate security agencies. When there is no synergy between these groups, then you always have the type of security situations we are having now. Because in most cases, some of these youths who are supposed to be the intelligence assets of the security agencies are even the ones perpetrating the act in very good connivance with some of the prominent people who know them. So that is why we have the problems.
Also speaking on the night curfew imposed by the state government, former chairman of National Youth Council of Nigeria and Rivers State Kingsley Ibanichuka, in an interview with correspondent Tobi Ruwari, urged the government to urgently address those issues giving rise to the internally generated violence while tackling national issues.
It's just to block the inflow of it within the period while they look at better measures. But I think that my concern is not about whether the borders are closed. The point is, will you not open it tomorrow? Would you have addressed the issues for which this crisis has been occurring so that tomorrow, after you have opened the borders, they will start again? That's the point. So I think we are only trying to manage crisis. We are not trying to resolve them. And it's a big problem because we continue to remain indebted to violence. Because when you don't resolve the core issues for which these reasons and these crises are occurring, they are likely to reoccur again and again.
Mr. Ibanichuka, however, advised the security agencies to be professional and avoid a repeat of what happened during the COVID-19 lockdown at the borders.
The reoccurrence of what happened during the COVID-19 closure means that the security agencies themselves should be a lot more alert with their conscience to know that the entire world will be watching them to know if they will do something different. I would rather advise security agencies to stay focused on the security issues because their own lives are threatened. They are more at risk. So if you want to give in your life and take 20 naira, 50 naira and borders, it's your choice. It's not about closure for COVID-19. It's a closure concerning security, which borders on their own lives. So they should rather stay focused on manning their duty posts with more professionalism and, of course, do so with integrity. This is my advice to the security agencies.
Meanwhile, former Commissioner of Delta State Oil Producing Area Development Commission Tesopadek Kennedy Okolugbo says the continued gun attacks in the southeast are an attempt to embarrass southern governors. He shared this opinion with Nigeria Info.
It's obvious that they want to embarrass the governors of the Southeast. They want to present a situation that Southeast is not safe and that the Southeast is not where you can actually live and work and do business. Without security, there can be no progress. The whole idea is to also put fear in the security personnel so that it will also dampen their morale.
In an interview with correspondent Wimimo Adewumi, he raised alarm about the flow of firearms across Nigeria and the way the federal government handles the spiraling situation.
It is obvious that the firearms that are in this country right now is such that can actually trigger maybe another civil war, which we all do not want. Let them parade those who they have arrested. Let it not be shrouded in secrecy. Same vigor that we are using to fight in the south should be same that we should be using in the north.
He condemned the killing of the commander of the Eastern Security Network, suggesting that diplomacy should be used in dealing with members of the ESN.
I think the killing of the Ikonsu, the commander for the Eastern Security Network, was also not good enough. They could have arrested them and they could have interrogated them. Now, a lot of people will condemn his killing because they see the Eastern Security Network as having come to their aids to fight the Fulani headsmen who have been terrorizing them in their farms and killing their people and raping their women. And they thought that the governors were not equal to the task of protecting them. If you continue to use force, you will only continue to stoke the fire.
IPOB has been accused of being behind most of the killings and attacks in the southeast, but they have denied. No one has claimed responsibility for the attacks. Coming up in the news, Governor Samuel Ortom of Benue State says killings in the country shows there is no government at the federal level. Stay tuned.
We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Buhari on Monday night met with Governor Babagana Zulum over the rising insecurity in Borno State. At the meeting, which was held at the president's official residence, Zulum decried rising insecurity challenges in his state and the country in general.
Let me use this opportunity to extend my condolences to the families of the deceased. May God in His infinite wisdom forgive them. And I think it is my own responsibility to come and say the truth to Mr. President. Let him know what is going on in the entire Northeast sub-region. I think there is a need for us to get support for us to succeed in this war against insurgents.
Also on Monday night, President Buhari met with chieftains of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu and PC Akande. Tinubu and Akande spoke to journalists shortly after.
Is extremely important, and yes, every nation will go through these curves and difficult time. How we communicate it to the people, what are the areas to help make it easier for people to bear. Those are ideas you have to be able to exchange with the leadership of the country.
Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom says the continued killings in Nigeria shows that there is no government at the federal level in Nigeria. He spoke while addressing protesting internally displaced persons on the Makodi-Lafia highway after terrorists invaded a Bagana IDP camp, killing 7 persons and injuring about 15 others on Tuesday morning.
This is not right. The federal government have refused to take proactive steps to arrest this ugly situation that we're witnessing here today. You send these people away from their villages. They came here to take refuge, and they are being killed. In this, over 70 people have been killed in the last 2 weeks by this aspect. He's our president. They have taken oath of office to secure the country and provide security for lives and property. This is unacceptable. This cannot continue. Mr. President cannot continue to be aloof. Mr. President must rise up to address the nation himself, not Garba Shehu or any of his assistants. Mr. President must tell us where...
Hurry on measures to address the situation. It followed a debate on the motion by Senator Sani Musa.
I can authoritatively confirm that the Boko Haram terrorists have mounted their flags in many of the villages they have captured, such as Aure, Alawa, and Magami. Inhabitants of these war-torn parts of the states have been abandoned and left to their fates, thereby compelling them to wallow in perpetual agony and abject misery.
In his contribution, Enugu East Senator Ike Ekweremadu asked the executive not to be ashamed of seeking foreign support.
I don't intend to re-emphasize the fact that any government that cannot protect its citizens, whether it is local government or state or federal, has lost legitimacy. Mr. President, the situation we found out in our country today is not irreversible. The problem is that we have not been able to pay sufficient attention or take this matter seriously. Sri Lanka, Colombia, Israel, they've gone through this road and they overcame them. So we should not be ashamed to seek support and assistance of such countries to help us.
The House of Representatives have called on President Muhammadu Buhari to immediately declare a state of emergency and security. The call formed part of the resolutions reached at a 4-hour closed-door session at the lower chamber of the National Assembly in Abuja.
Considering the security situation, the President should immediately declare a state of emergency in the security sector, so as to fast-track all measures to ensure that the restoration of peace in our country. The federal government should ensure the protection of national infrastructure and assets, particularly the Shiroro and Kainji dams in Niger State.
Reading the other resolutions reached at the end of the meeting, the Speaker of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila, said the House security committees were mandated to immediately begin a comprehensive audit of all military and paramilitary assets and arms and revert within 4 weeks. Still ahead, President Buhari seeks relocation of U.S. Africa Command to Africa. Stay tuned.
Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817-001-8162. That is 0817-001-8162. And let us connect you to your customers.
We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3.
President Muhammadu Buhari has asked the United States government to reconsider relocating the U.S. Africa Command AFRICOM from Stuttgart, Germany to Africa. President Buhari spoke in a virtual meeting with the U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. President also encouraged the international community to support Nigeria and West Africa in tackling rising security challenges.
On the part of Nigeria, I renew calls for enhanced collaboration in all forms with our friends and strategic partners to work together for greater security for all, the most significant condition for overcoming these existential challenges.
In business, an economist with River State University, Victor Akidi, said following the timing of the curfew, there will certainly be an increase in price of some staple food items that will be coming through the borders.
We are primary consumers of agricultural staple foods, staple agricultural foods. We have yam, we have tomatoes, we have pepper, we have other agricultural goods that usually come from the north. With this curfew, one key thing is sure: the supply of these goods and services, this food supply will be limited, will be seriously impacted, and the implication is that the prices of these items in the market will further shoot up. Of course, recently we are aware that the Nigerian food inflation rate is about 22%. With this action within River State, the possible implication that is that the prices of these food items will further increase.
Dr. Akidi also explained how the movement of goods and services will be adversely affected if there are no concessions to the providers. A development economist, Ugochukwu Agbarakwe, also said the new security measures will give rise to temporal financial losses to both the state government and the citizens.
When you calculate the time that is involved, we are going to lose in terms of time, and therefore there will be a lot of financial losses. Here in River State, especially in Port Harcourt, we don't produce anything around Port Harcourt. So movement of a carry from outside the state into the state and into the state capital will be affected with it. When the buyers consider their losses, it can lead to three is already on the high side. So they are likely going to add their inconveniences.
In entertainment, Nigerian musician Banky W joins the list of celebrities who have expressed their worries over the incessant killings and kidnappings across the country in recent times. He tweeted on Tuesday, "So much bad news in Nigeria every day. We've become numb to it. If it's not murder and kidnapping, it's unrest and people unfit for office calling the shots. It's like we're in an abusive relationship with the country we love. It's exhausting. It's draining. It is depressing." In sports, Zinedine Zidane said he was pleased with Real Madrid's performance in their Champions League semi-final first leg against Chelsea, though they tied 1-1. The win puts Chelsea in a promising position after the game.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
India has seen more COVID cases in the last 7 days than any other country in the world, but the country's death toll going past the 200,000 mark. People have died waiting for beds as oxygen supplies run low and hospitals crumble under the strain of new patients. US President Joe Biden says he intends to send vaccines to India. On the news this morning, you heard that the Rivers State government has restricted night movement on all land borders due to insecurity. The Senate is set to meet with President Buhari over the country's security situation. The House of Representatives has called on President Buhari to immediately declare a state of emergency on security. On the foreign scene, we told you that India's COVID death toll has gone past the 200,000 mark. The news was edited by Enoho Ogbevere. Contact our newsroom on 0818-900-0017. For the weather, rainfall continues in Port Harcourt this morning. My name is Effiani Andrew. Thank you for your time and have a great day ahead.